Oh, son, what is good, my boy? Whenever I think back to whenever I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere back between like 2012, 2013-ish, if I go back and think to that little kid playing a computer game like a Minecraft, World of Warcraft, or Call of Duty on the 360, sitting there in between after school watching like a fucking PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye or whatever YouTuber back then, like these entertainment based people, and you fast forward me, you told me these fast forward ideas from 2023 and told me that there'd be people sitting there yelling at you online, oh, you gotta make a piece of content, dude. You gotta make content or you're gonna get left behind. This is the new meta. Is crazy. It really is crazy. I feel like a lot of those older people, or the original people starting this shit, making videos and all this stuff, they started from like a point of curiosity. They started from a point of, oh, this is new and this is interesting. That's how they kind of got into it. They didn't really know what they were doing. They were just figuring this shit out through tools that were at their disposal. But now you got like this dystopian Truman show like non-genuine thing where it's like people are just like creating ideas that aren't even their own, just recycling other people's opinions to try to get this little piece of a pie online. And it really is like I watched this Truman Show movie, and that movie was ahead of its time. I mean, they didn't make that with the intent of like talking about the modern day, but it just happened that way where I can't help but like whenever I make these videos now, and I'm not coming from a genuine spot, I'm coming from a desperation or a thought in my mind where it's like, oh, I gotta get a piece of content out, dude, or I'm gonna get left behind. I feel while I'm making that, I feel like I'm like this fucking Truman Show character. Like it's so weird. Like the fact that these parasocial relationships are spawned so much. I feel like it was already weird to have like an Elvis type idol back in like the fucking 60s. But at least that was like a one-off thing. Now it's like thousands of these little like parasocial communities and shit. And it gets even weirder. I mean, that's a whole tangent in its own whenever you start going on that topic. But to not diverge so much, you gotta be careful where you coming with your intentions with this type of thing, because don't get me wrong, this isn't a negative, a diss, a hate on online shit. I feel like this is a very interesting, cool, collective thing that's going on right now, where it's like if it's coming from a genuine creative place, it's super interesting. It's like this brand new experiment that's only 15 years old. For the first time ever, we have like this collective consciousness of ideas. And you can go here and there and this and that. And you no longer have to get like these little weird subliminal things from pieces of art where angsty people created something and there it is. It's like, bro, you can literally just go on your phone and pour your heart out into a fucking camera and have a possible thousands of people see it, and that in some way will affect their actions and their way of thinking and be a part of them. It's kind of cool. It's kind of crazy. You can teach people all these different things, but at the same time, it's weird. Like I remember I was walking. I have property here, and I was walking through my trails like I do often, and I thought about making a video, and I was making it, I was talking, and in the middle of my train of thought, I was like, bro, what the fuck am I doing right now? Like, halfway, if I was just in the moment, it wouldn't have been weird because so many people do it. But in my head, I flashed back and I was just like, bro, this really is crazy. I looked around, I stopped recording, I was like, I'm in this fucking beautiful ass woods that I love so much with a phone talking to it. And I just like zoomed out of my body for a second and thought third person. And I was like, bro, this shit is fucking weird. This is not natural. This is like some fucking cyborg stuff. It really is like we're cyborgs. But on the contrary to that, it is pretty neat and pretty cool to have like this group collective consciousness. I just thought this was a pretty interesting topic. I don't really per se think there's a negative or a positive. I think there's negatives and positives to both lines of thinking. Like, negatives to not doing it is we don't have this access to information, we don't have all this blah blah blah. And on the contrary to that, with making it, you get into like these weird parasocial dystopian things where it's like, I'm been real into this like music phase right now. I'm digesting. I don't sit there and doom scroll or anything like that really, but while I'm working, I'll just digest these podcast after podcast. And there's this one figure in particular when it comes to music who's been really fascinating to me, and that's Rick Rubin. I really love the way this motherfucker's passion is with his craft and how you can learn a lot from him. But I realized that it was becoming a parasocial type thing because I'm sitting there and I'm basing a lot of my actions with my music off of it. I don't really even fucking know the guy based off of all this shit I've been listening to, but I'm making all these assessments and judgments and thinking about it and all this stuff. And it was kind of weird. Again, I went into like that whole third person mode and I was like, this kind of strange. It's like I've got like a fucking friend that doesn't even know he doesn't even know I exist. And it made me realize, and it was kind of the inspiration for this video, where it's like, you definitely have to find a balance with this shit, my boy. You have to find a balance with this shit. I try not as much as I used to talk in absolutes, but this is something that I'm almost absolutely certain on, is that through many things where you can be very obsessive about it and stuff, this is one of those things where you do need a balance, or you will completely distort your reality. Like, there was at one point where I was making like 30-minute video straight out the dome a day, and then I would, over the course of a week, clip that up into 350 short videos. It was crazy. I was so obsessed with like this fucking hyper Gary V, like, not even Gary V, is like, I wasn't even really watching him. It was like other self-improvement guru people. But I stopped because it was that Truman Show shit where I zoomed out and I was like, bro, I'm starting to like not go insane, but it's really distorting my reality because I live in a small town. I'm around a lot of older people who are like, what the fuck is a TikTok? And I start looking at them, and yeah, they have problems like everybody does, but they have a much more peaceful and grounded reality. I mean, I'm fucking sitting over here doing all these self-improvement, Zen, meditating habits, praying and all this stuff. And it's like, these people live a more peaceful life than me. And it's because of the way I'm distorting my reality with excessively changing my balance with this technology shit. So be careful with it, dog. Zoom out. Always be conscious of your actions. Chase paper and enjoy nature, old son. Have a great day.